Welcome to the Genius Talk podcast. I'm your host Atul Raj from the bestemailmarketer.com, and today we have the sober coach Jen. Jen, help me pronounce your second name again.
Hirst.
Jen Hirst with us. Jen, thank you so much for joining and welcome to the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Yep. So for our listeners who don't know you, can you tell them who you are and what you are doing?
Yeah. So, again, my name is Jen Hirst. I am a sober coach and founder of Lighthouse Sobriety. So, I am almost at 13 years sober. So, I don't drink alcohol, or maybe I can say alcohol free. And now I coach women on how to boost their confidence in sobriety by implementing these 6 daily habits from the get go, with weekly coaching, weekly group coaching, to have them feeling their best in this journey, taking them through how to get sober and how to stay sober, how to go to the airport, how to socialize, what do you do at night, just all these different scenarios of what I've been through in my experience and how I can help them create a life that they love without alcohol. So,
Okay, so what inspired you to become a sober coach?
yeah, well, honestly, from my own personal experience, I had no intention of becoming a sober coach. I majored in graphic design. I was an art director for magazines. I thought that was my life's passion. And as someone who was on one, I would say, a very severe case of alcoholism, or however you want to say it, my drinking was very severe, but on the outside, you would never notice because I was really good at hiding it. And I didn't drink. I mean, I did social drinking in college, like all like the normal drinking with my friends. And then it slowly turned into pain and turned into anxiety. And then I was using alcohol to cope. And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse. And so I had a very extensive and diverse history with getting sober, of going to 3 inpatients, 8 outpatients. I did AA, I got a sponsor, I did therapy, I did every single thing. And so it really took for me to almost lose everything and become homeless for me to turn my life around. And so I used that, and I never thought that this was something that people cared about. 4 years into my sobriety, following the AA program, Alcoholics Anonymous, because that's all that was around back then, 15 years ago, 13 years ago. I never spoke about my sobriety. I thought people didn't care. I thought people would think less of me as someone who was raised in a great family. I got great grades. I excelled. I got awards. And to have me struggle with this, I was very concerned with other people think. And lo and behold, I had a couple kids, the greatest gifts to come out of my sobriety. And I stumbled upon a woman's transformation of how she built muscle, lost weight, built muscle, which a program, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Beachbody, which is now Body. It's
Yeah.
like a weight loss and like nutrition and all of that. And so randomly I started following her. Nothing I ever did, because I'm like, if she can build a body like that, she must know what she's doing. And so I'm not saying that I became a coach because of that. I became a Beachbody coach. And one of those vital behaviors is sharing your story on social media, which is very weird for me. I never took pictures of myself. I never really shared a lot. And so within a couple weeks of starting to do this, because I really loved the workouts, I love nutrition, I think they were so impactful in my sobriety to keep me sober. I told my husband, I'm like, I think I'm supposed to share about my sobriety on social, like put it out there. How can I expect people to trust me if they don't know this huge part of me? Like, not even my friends really knew. Like, they knew, but we never talked about it. I just didn't think people cared. So I did what's called like a coming out post on social media, a very courageous act, which is so weird to think about it. Like, you're giving up this one terrible thing for your body and you're scared to do it, of how people will think of you. So I did it. It took me like 5 minutes to write. I said everything. I was just like, "Brrr," and I threw the phone. I went to a meeting. I came back to nothing but love and encouragement. And I'm like, oh, feels so good to like not hide. And I'm not saying from that moment forward, I became a coach. From that moment forward, I started sharing my journey in like breadcrumbs, on top of trying to help women lose weight. And over the course of a few years, I realized I don't think I'm supposed to help women lose weight. I think I'm supposed to help women get sober. Women are more interested in my journey and how I've been able to maintain this than they are with losing weight. And I think they go a lot of hand in hand, movement and sobriety. And so I started looking into it. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought I had the analysis paralysis. I need to be certified. I need to know more. But I told myself I'm 8 years sober. There's something that I'm doing that is working, but I also didn't really want to follow AA anymore. I didn't understand, and I believe in the steps and things like that, but I did not want to be anonymous. And there were key parts in that program that I just didn't resonate with. So I thought, what if I could rebrand sobriety? What if I could make this something fun, something encouraging and positive, and incorporate these habits that help you feel great in sobriety? And so I started with private coaching. Eventually, I called around. Like back then, there wasn't ChatGPT, there wasn't all of this stuff. So I didn't know, how much do I charge? How much, like, what do I need? Do you need a contract? I was not certified until 3 years ago. I really believe with sobriety, your experience qualifies you, and
Uh-huh.
with a desire and a passion to help other people. So I started with private, wanted to do group because there's so much magic with community, especially with sobriety, but with anything. I wanted us to do this together. And that's how I created group coaching programs, which then eventually evolved into memberships and kind of have snowballed from there. So that's kind of the story. It was never my intention. It's just what I was doing was leading me there bit by bit. And I always knew I was supposed to do something big. I just never knew it was going to be this. It was the one thing that I was so scared to talk about. It was now the one thing I love to talk about. And the more I talked about it, the more confident I became. Yeah.
Okay, can you walk us through the process of working with you?
Yeah. Well, I always like to start women off with group coaching. I think there's so much power. And the one thing women, and I only work with women because I think it's a safer space for us to share openly and honestly. The one thing that women don't have when they come to me is community. And so I immediately from the get-go put you in a group of women with about 50 to 75 other women. It can be intimidating, but it's not super big. It's manageable enough for you to build those relationships. So I want to get you in there first so we can go through what you might expect if you are not already sober, the withdrawals, key aspects, what you might feel, and so on and so forth. And so working with me in there. And then once you graduate from there and you're ready to move on, then you'll go into what I'm going to launch next is Sobriety 2.0, which is figuring out who you are, what's your life's purpose, everything like the next step in growth once you've built the foundation. And then after that, to keep in that community, then you go into the Lighthouse Sobriety membership where we have meetings and a book club and all of that. There's no coaching, but that's more to stay in contact and to keep that like sobriety alive, and to meet more women who are also on this journey together.
Can you share how a community help a woman like become more sober?
How about community?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like that whole study on the rat park, where the rats were given. I think it's like I have to like memorize it, like cocaine or something. But if you put them in a community and with other rats, I'm not saying we're rats, right? But in a community with other rats, they're going to pull that lever much less. If you put that and put yourself in an environment with other supportive people, you're going to be more apt to reach your goal because it's like that saying: if you hang around a barbershop long enough, eventually you're going to get a haircut. If you hang around a lot of people that are drinking, eventually you might think, and maybe you won't, but it's going to be that much harder for you to stick to your goal if you're around people that continue to drink, right? You're the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with. So I'm not saying you have to give up or cut off people that drink, but as long as you can stay in contact with them, but at least you have other women or other people who share that same interest of being alcohol free that can have your back, that knows and know what it's like, that know how hard it is to go into a social situation and be the only one not drinking. That's like, me too. Oh yeah, I get that. We got your back. You need that community aspect. And what is it? Like, you're 85% more likely to hit your goal if you do that in a community and you have accountability. And so it's so imperative. And when I say community, it doesn't have to be a huge hundreds and thousands of people. It can be one or two people, but you do need to have other sober people in your circle, whether that's through virtually, which is what I can do with my programs, which is awesome. Whether that's in person, maybe it's a therapist, maybe it is a partner, but I always like to say partners are not part of our toolkit because people that don't have a drinking problem just don't understand how hard it is to stop. It's like me, if you say you have anxiety, it's like me saying, well, just relax. It's like, well, of course. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Don't drink. My God. Right. So when we can find that commonality and relate and tell stories, that is how you stay sober. And when you can have the coaching aspect to go along with it, to coach everyone in this process, and then you share, that is the magic of the program. And that is what can keep you sober.
Can you talk about any of your favorite success story?
Success stories. Gosh, there's so many.
Your favorite?
Well, I think it's honestly, it can be Barbara. I won't say her last name, of course, but she came to me and she joined my 30-day program last year in December. She came in and she was just really sad. And she's taken a course or two of mine before. And sometimes it takes 3 times. I went to inpatient 3 times. I did outpatient 8 times. It can take repetition, right? If it doesn't happen the first time, that doesn't mean you fail. She came back, and this is what alcohol can do. She was sad. She was hopeless, not finding joy. And she kept showing up. She kept doing the next right thing. And now she's like over 70 days sober. I think she's coming up on her 90 days. It's so awesome. She is like smiling. She's excited. She's excited for life. It's the biggest, like, I don't know why, I guess for me as a coach, right, is to see the light come back on, to see the sparkle come back in their eyes, knowing that it takes time for every single person. Every single journey is different, but just to see that shift is so stinking cool. So I couldn't be more proud of her. And that's just one of hundreds, but yeah.
Can you talk about those 6 daily habits?
Absolutely. So these are habits that are science-backed to help you to feel better in this process. So when you stop drinking, you might feel and experience a dip. So anytime we drink or consume something that delivers an artificially high level of dopamine, like alcohol or drugs, well, alcohol is a drug. So anytime you stop that, you're going to dip. Anytime there's a spike, you're going to crash. And so in that crash, you might feel a little bit sad, tired, anxiety, all of those things that we can experience when we stop drinking. So these habits, number 1, can help fill the time. They can also help boost dopamine and, again, help you feel better in this process. So number 1 is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water every single day. Water helps carry nutrients to our cells. It helps boost our energy, clear the brain fog that you can feel after drinking. Number 2 is gratitude. So writing 5 things that you're grateful for from the past 24 hours. Now, when we can do this, we're going to start to focus on things that are going right, like these small little moments in our day. Whether you want to do this in the morning or at night, whatever works for you, is also going to help increase that happiness, increase that dopamine. Number 3 is to read 10 pages of Quit Lit a day. Now, if you've already been through my programs, you can go into self-help or personal development. I can't tell you how impactful personal development has been in my life when I started doing it in 2016. It has brought clarity. It has brought growth of why I do the things I do and how to do them better, right? So 10 pages. Number 4 is protein. So when we drink, a lot of times that trigger hour, that witching hour, is between work and home life. It's turning off one thing and turning on another, and we don't know how to get through it, of cooking and all of that. And so one thing to get ahead of any cravings is to make sure you're not going into it hungry. So protein at around 3 p.m., having a mid-afternoon snack, protein, at least 10 grams of good quality protein, which I'm talking about cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, maybe a chomp stick, sausage, things like that, chicken if you want, to help alleviate any cravings, because low blood sugar can manifest as cravings for alcohol and sugar. Number 5 is movement. So exercise at least 20 minutes a day. Now I say 20 minutes because literally anybody can do 20 minutes if you're physically able. I'm not talking about pushing yourself to max capacity at the gym unless you want. I'm talking about going out for a freaking walk. Getting outside, going for a walk, doing yoga, Pilates if you want, strength training, just moving your body in some way, going out for a bike ride, going snowboarding, anything to get that heart rate up. The biggest benefit of this is it's going to lower that anxiety, which is going to reduce your need to want to drink and to escape, boost that dopamine, which we're looking for in a drink. And then the last one is checking into a sober community. So the importance of a sober community, whether that be you want to go to a meeting, whether that be you just want to check in online and just see what's going on, or do a post or check in that you're sober, or speak to someone else, which a platform we use is Marco Polo, super impactful, therapist, any sort of thing. So that is the last one, just some touch point with your sober community.
Okay, so I'm curious, like, how's your life before being sober and how's your life after?
Before sobriety, it was chaotic. I was extremely sad. I was not showing up for myself. I had lost my job. I had $200 to my name. I lost my car because I had 2 DWIs. I was on the verge of losing my marriage. Super anxious, not going after my goals, barely keeping myself alive, basically. And after sobriety, I mean, I can't say everything's perfect, right? And everything doesn't magically get better, because now you got to feel your feelings. But there's so many amazing things that can happen. I know within 4 months, we learned I was pregnant. Within 4 months, I got a job back in my field. Within 6 months, I was promoted. Within a year and a year, we had my son. Within a year and a half, we got our first house. I'm able to live life fully being here, I think, is one of the best things. It's lowered my anxiety. It's allowed me to have children, which I thought it was impossible with all the crap that I did to my body. God, it's led me to my job. I mean, so many awesome things have come from it. And I've been able to be the person that I am today, and doing the growth because of the hard thing that I've been through. I never would be where I'm at today if I didn't go through that hard thing. So that's where I can be so stinking grateful for. It is all of the things that have come my way because of that.
Okay, so those period, like, how long you have been like drinking a lot?
How long had I?
Yeah, you are drinking a lot.
It went on and off. To be honest, from the moment that I started to self-medicate to the moment I got sober was about 10 years. So it was like a 10-year progression, but really in the year leading up to my wedding is where it really ramped up. Because I was working full-time, doing freelance full-time, doing my wedding all by myself, and I was literally burnt out. So really from 2010, I got sober in 2013 for about 3 years. It was very heavy, drinking to blackout every night. And so on and so forth, giving myself goals. If I can go a day or two, then I'm not an alcoholic. If I can do this, and doing it by myself because I didn't want anyone to know. And periods of like 2005 where I had, moments where, of course you drink too much and things like that. It just progressively got worse and worse and worse.
Okay, for the women who want to join your community, where can they go?
Yeah, you can go to my website at joinlighthousesobriety.com. You can sign up to get on the wait list for Dry 100, which is my signature program that I was talking about. That's where I would really want you to start. Again, then I'm launching this Sobriety 2.0 course. Once you're sober, it's like, now what do I do? And also, if you want to get in the membership, if you already have a really good foundation of sobriety, you've already learned everything you need to know, you can join our community. You can join that anytime. And it's the same website as well, which is the Lighthouse Sobriety membership.
Okay, Jen, is there anything else that you would like to share?
If you're questioning your relationship with alcohol, or maybe even not, I would say just give it for a test drive just to see how you feel. right? I'm not saying you need to have a problem, just to see how much you could produce, right? How much better, how much more productive you could be when you don't have this thing kind of slowing you down. I forgot to mention as well, I hang out on Instagram as well. So it's Jen Hirst. If you want to send me a message, see, I have a bunch of content there to help support you in this decision if it is something that you want to do. But I recommend, if you can do that, I would definitely take sobriety or going alcohol free for a test drive just to see how you feel.
Great, Jen. Thank you so much for sharing all that and spending some time with us. It was really great having you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.